Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we once again have a little bit more brand new news coming out over here when it comes to the PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, as you guys probably know, we've been kind of watching this pretty closely when it comes to the brand new PlayStation 5 Slims, PlayStation 5 Pros, and everything else all in between. But it actually kind of seems like this is once again showing up even more and more definitive proof, not for like the upcoming like PlayStation 5 Slim or the new iteration, but more on the PlayStation 5 Pro, where it does actually kind of seem like some of the actual Pro units, or at least some of the beta and all kind of like developer type kits, actually may be making their way in rounds all around, well, the devs, like they actually have the developers themselves have it on hand. So we're going to talk about that, talk about the details, talk about some news, talk about some other little various news stories too as well, and let's go and dive into the video itself. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have all the Amazon links for all your PlayStation 5 consoles in case you guys want them, and of course we have the Twitter and Twitch room down below in case you guys would like to go and follow, and of course as well, we do also have just, I don't know, the usual sell links too, so make sure you guys are subbed. So very first and foremost, I'm sure you guys have seen, we're now actually expecting once again even more proof when it comes to the PlayStation 5's next iteration, which would be the PlayStation 5 Pro, is getting even more information for the holiday 2024 release date. Now, really quickly, in case you guys have missed some of this stuff. Number one, we've been seeing a lot of rumors, we covered this as a video maybe a few days ago, that the PlayStation 5 Slim is actually still once again not 100% confirmed, but at least for that, it seems very, very likely based on how they've done it for other prior consoles, but as well based on brand new patents. We actually made a video on this a few days ago, where they actually made this brand new patent basically discussing and talking about the detachable disk drive, which would make a lot of sense. That's what a lot of these rumors are coming into, and it's essentially kind of just bolstering up a lot of like different types of patented type pictures and styles and everything else, discussing the idea that there's going to be a PlayStation 5 Slim. Now, the PlayStation 5 Slim makes a little bit more sense. You make the console a little bit smaller, have the same internal type of specs, you make sure the GPU, CPU, RAMs, SSD, etc. are all the same, then you just maybe either make it a little bit cheaper or make it so like with inflation and cost inflation, it can maintain that $499 price point and then maybe sell the detachable disk drive too as well as a bonus or whatever they might end up doing. So that seems like it's not 100% confirmed, but it looks very, very likely. But now we're even seeing even more brand new stuff coming out that the PlayStation 5's hardware timeline should be kind of corresponding to the 2024 release. So right now we're kind of tentatively, this is all like speculation, etc., but one big thing to note is that we are apparently seeing the devs actually have these on hand, which adds a lot more to the confirmation, where it seems like we'll have maybe this year, throughout 2023, maybe having a PlayStation 5 Slim iteration. We'll go and have that. We can rot that stuff on out. And then once we go and have that settled for a year, which is still on the same baseline PS5 hardware, then we maybe go have the PlayStation 5 Pro happen right afterwards as of the holiday 2024 release. Now, that would probably give us around maybe like an 18-ish month or so release window for us to watch all this content and go and see. So I'm cool with it. I like it. But I still almost want to say it might be a little bit too early once again to keep on selling these consoles. Let's go talk about some of the upcoming Sony projects now. So Sony's been testing, prototyping, and releasing many different types of hardware for the PlayStation 5 as of late. In this console generation, we've already seen 3 subtle variations of the PlayStation 5. So basically, we've already seen these internally. We've covered this on the channel itself to basically reduce the weight, get rid of the internal copper, and of course, just make it a little bit better. Basically making like the run heats a little bit lower, make the fans and have the wire coil a little bit more chill, and this basically just making the console better. And also the DualSense Edge 2 as well, and PlayStation VR 2. We also have other things in the works though as well. So number 1 is on the Project Leonardo, where Project Leonardo is the only announced piece of hardware on the list. First announced in January 2023, Leonardo is the highly customizable accessibility controller that will allow people with disabilities to play the games more easily. Sony says that the controllers have been developed with key contributions from accessibility experts, community members, and also for game developers. So very cool to see that. We've had them working closely when it comes to them making it better. So Leonardo is highly customizable, allowing players to craft their controller to their own needs, and the controller itself is like basically really swappable. They also didn't know how, once again, we have the new PlayStation 5 as well. We're kind of seeing all this stuff with the detachable disk drive, as we kind of covered, it is expected or rumored to be released as of this year, mainly because like it just makes sense. It's more of just a redesign on the outside, not really changing anything on the inside. So if you guys have had your PlayStation 5 console or got an OG one, doesn't matter, you're going to have the same gameplay, like it's not the world's biggest deal. So it's not 100% confirmed, but once again, a lot of these things such as like the patents we've been seeing filed and everything else kind of coming out with this, it just kind of goes to show that a lot of folks are looking forward to it. that Sony themselves has plans for it, that they want to go make this stuff actually go and happen. And once again, too, a lot of folks are saying like this is like big development on the dev kits, as you guys can see. So right now we have that as well. So a lot of these sources are kind of into it stuff. They want to make sure everything's working good. They want to test it, make sure it's all good. They also have the brand new audio hardware too as well, which I don't think many folks are excited for. If you guys yourselves have ever even went and gone and done any of this, like, you know, I don't know, headsets or custom mics from Sony, etc., let me know. I don't think most people are hyped up for it. But as well, the Q Lite, people obviously want to have the Q Lite too. We've covered that up a lot as well. It's kind of, I know it's iffy. But the big breadwinner for all this stuff is the PlayStation 5 Pro. So going on the article, it says, it's been a hot topic of discussion as of late, but yes, Insider Gaming has previously revealed that Sony does have a PlayStation 5 Pro in development. We've had a lot of folks kind of talk about this. We've seen some employee leaks, we've seen some general leaks, and there's a lot of stuff kind of floating around when it comes to future features. They also had a chance for it being dismissed by being inaccurate, but they had a chance they had expecting it. Like, it just kind of makes sense on the overall hierarchy that at some point in the near future, whether it's 2024 or 2025, there will probably be a PlayStation 5 Pro, especially with how consoles keep on developing and everything else with it. But one of the big things, though, and it's kind of a weird thing to talk about, we'll talk about it in a second a little bit more in depth, is note this sentence. The PlayStation 5 Pro could be canceled at any time. Now, I always appreciate leakers. I don't mind reporting on it, etc., etc. Kind of gives me content too, so obviously I always appreciate it. But once again, it kind of goes to show that a lot of these people are kind of covering their bases. It goes to the same thing too as well when it comes to the PlayStation events, like those really big showcases where they were rumored even supposed to happen in March, and then they were rumored to have happened then in April, and then now we're already in May. We still haven't seen any indication of that coming soon. I still don't think it's going to happen regardless. Like, we have an Xbox event coming soon. We have like Nintendo events coming soon, E3, Summer Games Fest, etc. It's going to happen sometime in the near future, almost no matter what. But always keep this in mind. But anyway, for this one, they can go and say with this one, though, this is like one of the bigger things to note. Insider Gaming can report with a 100% degree of certainty that the PlayStation 5 Pro is currently in development. Whilst we cannot report on any specifics on their time, they understand that right now, the very first dev kit prototypes will be going now to first-party developers within the next couple of months, with third-party developers receiving them by the end of the year, and they still have the expected timeline of the Q4 2024, so basically next holiday season for next year. So let's go break this down a little bit more too as well. Because typically whenever we do go and see this, like, so we saw a lot of PlayStation 5, like the normal baseline consoles, having developer kits get sent out right before the console came out. And that's very cool to see. Like, we actually enjoyed seeing that. And typically whenever the dev kits are out, that means that the game's, like, it's done. Like, they kind of have the rough idea of what kind of hardware they want to have. They have the rough idea of what they want to have internally. And at the same exact time, this basically lets the devs go and start testing major next-gen games. A lot of games are usually like a 3 to 7 year game cycle to develop the game. So some games that might have been developed or planned for the PlayStation 5 Pro, or just basically mid-generation PlayStation 5, have probably already been the works, maybe like 3 or 4 years. But as well, if we have another like 18 months or so, it kind of goes to show that we'll be probably seeing some games specifically made or want to be utilized for the PlayStation 5 Pro. So I'm not really sure the best example. Like, we do have a lot of really cool games. Maybe a good example is the upcoming Naughty Dog type games, if they want to make a new Uncharted, or as well work towards more like a Last of Us Part 3 or a Last of Us multiplayer. But at the same time, too, it does seem like this has now been making their rounds around, where it does seem like the brand new PlayStation 5 Pro, it does actually exist. And that's kind of the bigger things. Like, we don't necessarily know how the marketing, mass scaling, promotions, and if it's even like feasible price point wise to go and sell these consoles at all. We don't necessarily fully know. But that's a big thing to note, is that either way they do exist. Like, they're actually real. They're outside in the wild, and it does seem like it's 100% confirmed out there. Now, I don't want to once again confirm that it's going to be going and being like a properly marketed thing, or confirm it's for 2024. Right now, the only people who know is Sony, and at this point, they may not even know themselves. But it does seem like it does actually 100% confirmed exist, because if developers are now receiving them soon, and also third-party developers as well, that just means it's a real thing. It's out there. It's being worked on. People know it exists. And I think that's a really big thing to kind of go and note. So, just letting you guys know, kind of good news for anyone who's maybe waiting for that mid-gen console upgrade, although I still stand by it's really weird for them to even trying to be selling these in the first place, because it just doesn't really make sense. and I don't really fully get why they're even doing that in the first place. I couldn't really go and tell you. But either way, it does seem like it's confirmed and in the works. Now, to kind of wind down the video too as well, we also are now seeing big updates when it comes to basically House Marque, which is basically developers of Returnal, where it does kind of seem like they're now pushing House Marque, and they now have over 150 employees, or they want to get to that point of 150 employees as well. So it's very cool to see that ever since they got picked up by PlayStation, they have more funding, more money, and can basically go and, well, push a lot more stuff for everything and make more better games. So I want to hear more thoughts and comments on the confirmed now PlayStation 5 Pro, as well as your thoughts on the PlayStation 5 Slim. Do you guys still think it's too early, too late? Let me know, because I kind of want to know at the end of the day. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below in case you guys want to go and follow. Amazon links for all the consoles too, and I just appreciate you guys all so much for watching here in the first place.